Now arriving at Lijiang Tower. Initiating match.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the ECAC's Overwatch 2 spring season. This is the Titan Division's Grand Finals. Tonight, I am joined by my fellow caster Beldia and observer Beldia. I am your caster Inferno. How are you doing tonight, Beldia?
I'm doing great. We're doing a little bit of both on my side, so don't mind that. But tonight we currently have Siena Heights Overwatch and St. Clair Saints going into a best-of-7 match.
Good to see you.
Certainly best of 7. These teams are playing for the win here. Gonna have to keep that in mind. Don't want to exhaust themselves in the earlier maps and then just taper off later on. Siena Heights is going to be on the red. St. Clair. Blue. I'm sorry. No?
No, it switched on my screen. My bad.
No worries. We're seeing these teams come out. We're seeing Arizona on the Orisa, Axer on the Ramatra pick. I'm liking that. We're seeing Nox just crack it off with an opening pick onto the support. Certainly is a great one to get. Going to get right back into this pressure. We're seeing St. Clair's cap that point, start the progression, and now trying to put the pressure back onto Siena Heights, not letting them get too far in. Ooh, we do see Dior finding a nice pick on a Red X. Going to be starting this fight for Siena Heights right as the Lucio does fall. Points being contested now, but Noxious again with a pick onto the Lucio. And Arizona. Noxious seems to be the kill leader right now. The Jinxie showing him why Sojourn can be played both ways.
Yeah, there was a lot of picks going back and forth on both sides. I really didn't know where that was going to go, but you can just see both Sojourns going head-to-head on that, and it just looks like this time Jinxie came out on top.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we saw a swap to that Sojourn from Jinxie. Matching Kitsune rushes. Stokes will find Jinxie early. Good pick to have under the belt for this fight, but Arizona targeting that kill potential in Noxious and Red X, using the Terra Surge as well to claim some kills. As this point is still being contested, a nice beat drop from Social. Like, St. Clair is going to have to back off or die trying. Maybe not yet though.
Yeah, I will say, like, the entire time I've been looking over on St. Clair's side, and look, they're still going on this. Noxer's got that going. Axer, I saw him the entire time being kept up by that Kiriko. Only 2 of them on point, and they were just able to turn it around and cap it right back to them.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible there. Axer was pretty low, getting pressured by Siena Heights. Like you said, the support, Soaks and Red X doing a wonderful job keeping him alive. We do have the beat drop available for Red X. Not choosing to commit it before Dior finds that pick. That is a crucial pick. Not having that ultimate for this fight could be potentially dangerous for St. Clair. We do see the annihilation from Axer coming out, trying to steal the deal, and that it will. Great pick, still coming through. They're chasing back to spawn. St. Clair looking extremely well on the take back, as now they have the point. We're even seeing some swaps coming out from Siena. Maybe just a little too late. They will have these picks going into the second round here. Will they stay on them? We'll have to see, but I feel like something has got to crack on the side of Siena, as St. Clair was just looking a little too dominant on that first point.
Yeah, we do see those switches coming out already. I see that Venture coming out, as well as I think the Doomfist might have just been to try and get to point, but I don't know. They were both putting up really good fights. It's just all it really depended on was those DPSs getting those picks and going back and forth and honestly getting the supports and backlines down. And St. Clair's was really just able to counteract that every time.
It seems so, and we're seeing the picks, or I should say the swaps from Siena Heights and from St. Clair. We're having the Genjis come out now. Dior and Razor on these picks. Looking to build up these Dragon Blades. Has that dash potential. Get those kills. We're seeing Razor even on a little bit of a flank here. Starting to put pressure on Siena from multiple angles. Giving Noxious a nice view of the front. Right. Happening on point. Jinxie finds Noxious to crack it off. As St. Clair will start the cap. Picks are still coming through from both teams, however. Nothing too much. The progress still getting climbed by St. Clair's right now.
One thing
Trying to keep everyone alive.
One thing I really want to note is that on the side of St. Clair's right now, I'm just seeing a lot of picks come from Red X and Sauce. And there we go. Just speaking of that, we have a little Lucio battle. What do we have going on here as well? We got the Ramattra going in. These supports are just so strong, getting picks on the tanks, on all the DPS, and they're just throwing through them right now completely.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very incredible to see, especially when you have the support cracking off, getting those secured picks. I mean, we all know those Kiriko headshots, whether they're a little bit luck or not. I mean, I'm sure the aiming comes through for Soap. Definitely a strong player, a strong team as well. A nice Kitsune rush, starting to push back Siena Heights. That's just where they're standing right now, right outside of their spawn. Really unable to crack this defense that St. Clair's is starting to put up.
Yeah, and I didn't notice this before, but now I see on Siena's side the switch to the Ramattra, and I don't know if it's going to be a little bit too late. We see them going with that Kitsune rush, and we'll see where this can take us. Hopefully they'll be able to get some picks down. We got to see that Boundary come out as well from both sides.
We do. I mean, these ults are cracking off. This fight could go both ways. We even see Red with a boop onto Jinxie, who was ulting. I believe that's almost every ult from everyone used there. That was incredible, but it's looking like St. Clair's is just coming out on top of these fights in such a decisive way. Crucial will find the pick on the Red X. And a second one on the Noxious before being stopped. We do have the overtime touch coming through, but Razor on the Genji. Able to clean up, and that will be Lijiang Tower going St. Clair's way.
Yeah, really great team pushes from both sides. They just kept going back and forth, but at the end of it all, St. Clair's, they did come out on top, and they were able to just push a little harder this match. But I still have so much hope right now for Siena, because again, I would just want to say it again, both supports on both sides getting picks after picks after picks, just following up on their DPS and following up on all the tanks, and we're just seeing really good plays from all sides right now.
We absolutely are, and I mean, that first map did go St. Clair's way. That is by no means counting Siena Heights out. This is a best of 7. We have plenty of game to still be played. I mean, I've been following Siena Heights a little bit off stream. I mean, they did just come out with a win in the WHAC, #1 in that. I mean, they're certainly a strong team, well put together. They have that cohesion, and I'm positive they're able to make a difference here. But St. Clair's is looking to just drill it home, go for this 4-0 right away. Not going to give them any chance if they can allow for that. But Kings Row is certainly a map where both of these teams have been here countless times. They know the map, they know the picks, and I can't wait to see this one.
One thing to note as well, it does look like they'd switch sides. But I also want to say about Siena Heights is that they were making some really good changes to their comp. They weren't ever really sticking with it. They were making those changes going into it, but I just think at times they were making it a little bit too late, and I'm really hoping in the next ones to be able to see them make the changes a little bit earlier and hopefully get that upper hand onto St. Clair.
Absolutely. I mean, I do like when teams are able to recognize that, hey, this comp just might not work into what comp the enemy is running. We can switch. Let's make those swaps. They're not afraid to swap. Like you said, maybe it just took a little too long to realize that. But now that I think they're aware of that, they're going to be playing into this game with a whole new mindset, approaching it completely differently. And I really think they could take it home here. We will have to see what comps these teams are going to lock in. We saw Arizona on the Orisa earlier, and we will see it again going into this defense round. We're seeing Jinxie on the Ashe, likely going to play that high ground. I really like the Ashe pick on defense here, first point.
Now, see, are we just going to get another Widow tease like usually, or are we going to see this a little? I would love to see a little bit of Widow. I do like that we're seeing as well the Ashe getting a little of the sniper action on both sides. And also, I'm honestly really liking this Orisa on the side of Siena Heights. They were doing really good in the beginning. They did, I think, get a little bit just tanked after that. But again, from both sides, we've been seeing really good swaps from both of them, and we'll just see who can go into it this time. And there we go with that Widow.
Does hit the headshot. Unfortunately, it is on the beefy tank. Will not be able to get that one-shot kill. Swapping to the Ashe, we will have the Ashe mirror going into this. Already knowing, having that sense, that's where the Ashe is gonna play, up on that high ground. Looking for that tool. And Red X taking a fight to Social. We're having a bit of a Frogger-Lucio battle. Red X winning this first one here. I'm sure we'll see a response from Social throughout the game. No real progress has been made on the point just yet.
Getting really low there.
Yeah, falling critically low. Has to play a little safe. Noxious and Razor, the DPS for St. Clair, starting to find these picks. Dashing, resetting. Oh, and a deflect headshot. That is how you secure the first point.
Razor just with some absolutely insane kills going into that, completely clearing out the rest of the team, giving them that easy push. And let's see what they can do from here.
That was an absolutely amazing play there. We're seeing this hero mastery shining. I mean, the game sense, the knowledge really coming through for the side of St. Clair's. They are turned up. They are ready to play, ready to win this grand finals match as we get this payload pushing. Looking to find an early pick. You see some stragglers. It's Sune Rush and a Bob, though. Yeah, with the ult coming back and forth. Seems to be going in Siena Heights' way, potentially gaining back that space, but no real kills have come through just yet. A nice one there from Jinxie.
Now they do have a lot of ults building up on the side of Siena Heights, so I really hoping to see them use this and kind of spread them out to really be able to just hold St. Clair's on this dimension right now. Great picks coming from their side as well.
Yeah, nicely placed dynamite from Jinxie. Sets him ablaze, and with the spear to secure, that will be Siena regaining the space. And like you said, they have a nice ult economy working up right now. Just gotta not use all of them. Bob will fall very shortly in that Kitsune rush. In a battle on point, Arizona's Terra Surge does come out, gets picked up right afterwards. The sound barrier to match from Red X. Now St. Clair's is starting to get this push going again.
And I don't know, right now I see Razor sitting on that Genji blade, and I'm a little scared. They do have support ults though on the side of Siena to counteract that, but I'm definitely a little nervous about the damage that him and the Renatra could do right now.
It certainly is a deadly combo. We see Social, the DPS, or I mean the support, finding yet another pick.
I mean, he's pretty much acting as a
Certainly a
DPS
great
along
job.
with Mon over there.
They absolutely are finding these picks. Both support ults committed here, however, for Siena Heights. Potentially a misplay on their part. Maybe the communication, as now Dior trying to pop this Dragon Blade, finding anything. Deflect comes through, and Axer will find the pick.
A little bit of a back and forth right now. It seems though some ults got used, but then he's got some people down as well. See who we can get back. And it's still going kind of both ways.
Yeah, it's hard to tell who really has the upper hand right now, as this fight is still underway, but it's looking like St. Clair is starting to find these picks. You have the stagger of not too many members up right now for Siena Heights. We do have the one out from Razor. No.
Beautiful picks from the side of St. Clair's as well going in there. They were just able to use that Genji ult, didn't really waste any other ults, and it just was able to keep Siena Heights back a little bit farther and just waste time to at least cap that third point, or second point.
They did. I mean, had a quick technical issue there, but I guess the fight did happen, and we do have St. Clair winning it. Bob and a feet drop coming out immediately. Axer will find Jinxie. Terra Surge from Arizona to find one of the supports. Social finding another. Siena Heights not letting this game go by the wayside just yet. Axer did pop the Annihilation, becoming a nuisance on this point, running everyone off. The picks are still coming through for St. Clair's. This is just looking too good to be true. Rush available and coming out from both teams. Fight on point. Siena Heights, yeah, they did have that beat drop in the pocket, did use it there. And the picks are starting to come through now. Noxious did crack it off with a nice early pick onto Dior. Jinxie and Social, however, starting to run back St. Clair.
A good final like close hold right there with Siena Heights. I really was worried that St. Clair's were just gonna cap it right there and they wouldn't be able to get their battle, but Siena really did pull through, and they also have a lot of ults building in their pocket. I do have hope for them, especially if they can counteract maybe some of their ults with at least the Genji ult that we have going on.
Yeah, and it is good to note that because Siena Heights committed both support ults there, they don't have an answer to this Dragon Blade. I'm not sure if Razor is aware of that. I'm sure he is. He's ready to use it, just waiting for the window. Dior, though, nice opening pick onto Red X. Gets that dash, and it might just send St. Clair's back to get a nice regroup. Just buying a whole lot of time right now, draining this clock. You do see a pick for both sides. As it is even, they are choosing to fight this. St. Clair's getting aggressive on Cholo and Soaked. Both Kitsune rushes are out. Lucio yet again finding the pick.
Here we go. Here we start with a little bit of an ult dump going on. We also have potential Razor going on this, as well as the Orisa getting another pick onto Red X.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how that pick came through. No, that's all right. I mean, this fight looking pretty well. It was going better. Dior off the map, unfortunately, after getting that dash. You hate to see it, but Siena withered the storm. I'm not sure if they're up in picks, but the point did not go St. Clair's way there. We only have just a few seconds left. You see Arizona on that Doomfist as well. Has that charged up punch. As we look to disrupt the backline potentially. Overtime fight on card. Razor with a pick. Red X with a second. Axer It's going well now. St. Clair finding the picks they need, and I believe we'll just be able to push this point home.
Yeah, no touch from that really amazing push going on from St. Clair's there. Back and forth and back and forth. We were waiting for that ult dump to happen, and it looks like in the end, St. Clair's came on top for that half. We'll see if we can see Siena Heights push all the way there as well, and maybe if we can see a little bit of an overtime match going on.
I would love nothing more than having these two teams going to an overtime map 2. I mean, this is the grand finals. These guys are looking to bring their A games. And now, I mean, with that in mind, St. Clair knows that no matter what, even if Siena Heights does just steamroll this, even if they do get to that 3rd point, there will be another chance. Their options are not limited just yet. They do have to worry about putting up a nice defense, however. I mean, you don't want to give them more time. But, I mean, it certainly is nice to know that no matter what, you will have a second chance.
See, now the Winston is something I really want to see. We, every week, do not see a lot of Winstons. I think we've only seen about one.
No.
I would love to have a Winston this time, but and a Junkrat. I don't know how long they're going to actually stay on this, definitely, but, you know, we'd only hope to see something a little bit fun in the finals this week. But, yeah, let's see what we can see from both these teams. One thing I also wanted to just say, again, both supports on all sides just so strong. They're constantly in the backline getting those picks, and just let's see what else they can come up with this round going into it.
They certainly are. I mean, these Lucios, we're seeing them in the kill feed constantly. We are actually seeing the Winston out from Arizona come out from the start. We're seeing the Winston in play, the big man himself. A nice pick onto Red X. Both Lucios are down now. Maybe a bit of a caster's curse as they're going to be walking back from spawn. Social is infinitely closer. And here we're seeing the Winston put up good pressure, but fall too noxious.
I do like what we're seeing from Siena, though. Going into this Winston pick, it looks like they are going to stay on it. This might be the disruption and change that they do need to just get into this backline and just get that upper hand on St. Clair's right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they have this pretty squishy team for the Winston and do great work against them. Will they be able to find the pick is another question. They were started off pretty good, and we see Social with a nice one on the Razor here. I'm sure St. Clair's will have the touch. That is at least a tick, maybe even 2 going for Siena Heights right now.
Yeah, looks like they were waiting on that tier cone. Now that they're back, they're going to go right back into this with Talk. Let's see what they can do with this as well. We do have the tier cone up on the side of Siena Heights, and we'll see if they can run with this and push them back a little bit.
I believe we did see the touch try to come through from Axer, but get booped away. Now setting us in this 2nd point. We're seeing a Kiriko and Kitsune rush from both teams. A beat drop and an annihilation also committed from the side of St. Clair's. Really looking to win this fight. Did see the Primal Rage come out and find Noxious. But yet again, the Lucio will be the one to steal the deal on that pick. But not before Siena Heights. We'll get this payload moving, however.
And we're seeing the Maga over here on the side of Siena Heights. Again, I'm liking this. I'm liking the constant change on the tanks. I'm definitely doing really well to just completely push St. Clair's back. So let's see if they can keep this rolling again.
We'll have to see. I mean, you have to think about Earth 2, the new edition. You're not going to be able to get them consistently if you're switching all the time. But Arizona has his guns, has his melee. That's all he needs. To hell with the perks. He'll do it himself. As I believe Siena Heights will be able to cap the 2nd point with that. We will have to see, however. Not capped just yet. But it looks like, yeah, St. Clair's will just let that go through. probably the better option there, rather than going in, potentially staggering, and then just being all over the place while the third point is underway. They're getting a nice regroup, fighting Siena Heights head on here. We'll have to see how it goes.
Now you see Razor over here just on the side, just kind of just looking to see where he can go in. He is just sitting on this Genji ult. Let's see if he can do something with this and hopefully disrupt and stop their push a little bit right now.
Yeah, the ults are starting to come back into effect. We will see how they play a part in this fight, but with Noxious finding an early pick on a Jinxie, it's looking like Siena just want to get out and get that regroup as quick as they can. Or will they get any stagger picks? Unfortunately, I don't think so for St. Clair. But here they come right back. Falco with a stomp on a Noxious, finding the pick. Kitsune rushes from both teams, as well as the beat drop. Razor with the Dragon Blade, finds two, looking for more, slashing away at the tank. Will find Arizona, and that will be St. Clair's retaining this point.
Really good fight from both sides. I just want to say that on the side of Siena Heights, they did really good pulling back and just regrouping. They had one person down, I can't remember who it was, and they just completely regrouped, backed off, and then pushed in with all those ults at once. But then on the side of St. Clair's, they were really just able to respond right back to those ults, and right now we're getting in with this Malga ult as well.
This cage fight is just being face tanked by Axer. Arizona stealing the deal with a stomp. Jinxie finding two. Picks for both sides. This fight is still on cart. Razor gets shut down, and that will be a team kill for Siena. Able to get this payload pushing even further now.
Yeah, and just as I was saying before, when they were able to regroup, they just did it again. They really are, compared to the first map, they're really going into this all together and pushing great, using ult. Has the perfect timing to counteract St. Clair's, and we got a lot of hope from them going into this.
Certainly do. We even see that Dragon Blade from Fior coming out, trying to find anything. I believe just did some running off. The Annihilation will claim Moncholo.
Wait, we have a Widow?
You have it on
Siena Heights?
We do. I just saw that myself. We even see the mirror coming out from Noxious. They're ready to take it on. Nice dash in the back. Dior finding the picks. There's a third. Looking for the next support. Who will be victim? A punch in the wall is what's behind door number 2. Axer finding that pick, but with a Kitsune rush from Siena Heights. I'm not sure it will be enough. They are getting run off the point. The stall picks are back in. Will it be enough? Just don't think so. As Siena Heights is looking to steal that deal. Still seeing the contest, however. It is not over just yet. The respawns are still coming. Really just draining the bank, but that will be Siena Heights finishing with time on the bank.
Score.
That was a beautiful push from Siena Heights. That was really what we were hoping for. Like I said, starting on that Winston in the beginning, that was just what they needed to disrupt their backline, and just rolling on over to the Malga. That was really great from both sides, going back and forth, but Siena Heights was really able to just group together. They were down by one player at a few points, and they just recouped, and just went back into it with their ults, and it paid off. Now they have time, and let's see if they can roll with this now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good enough that you were able to get that third point, but having additional time, albeit 58 seconds is not all the time in the world. That is certainly another push, maybe even 2 if it's quick. They're able to get more intel, be able to maybe expend some of the util, maybe some ults out of St. Clair, while St. Clair is going to have to take this a little more head-on, a little faster, maybe not as strategical, as they do have just a less time bank here. We're not seeing the Widow pick either out of spawn. Seeming like St. Clair is taking this seriously. Like I said, they don't really have too much time to waste. I'm sure we're going to see start marching right to the point.
Yeah, it does look like they did go back to their original comms that we saw in the first match and the beginning of this match, so we'll see what we get from them here.
Ooh, Jinxie finding that nice pick. Down one of your DPS, especially Razor, who's been doing incredible work this game. Certainly calls for a regroup, and there we will see it. 30 seconds left now. They have one push left. St. Clair's is going to have to regroup and hit this one hard.
Seeing that Widow come out right now. Let's see if they are. Nope, didn't think they were going to stay, just like before. But I don't know. I have hope in Siena right now. They really want this with this push. I think they have a lot of ults building right now, and St. Clair's is a little bit behind there, and I think Siena might be able to keep this.
You might be right with Social finding a pick onto Red X, but Noxious not letting it go down without a fight, able to find some Axure there to clean up. And I think we will see St. Clair's capping this first point.
That genuinely might be the
and that's how you do it.
caster's curse ever.
Yeah, that is well, I will refrain from saying anything else as well. I mean, don't want to
I rest my
make
case
these
now.
teams upset in any way. Yeah, rest my case. I plead the fifth. Going further, we do have this overtime push, however. St. Clair's is not going to be able to get off this point. That bar will tick down extremely quick before you know it. And there we see the Kitsune rush from Siena, filling into the back line. A second one from Soap now, starting to put up a fight. Like I said, this is overtime. They can't get off the point. But now afterwards, Axter diving the back line, puts this annihilation up. As the push continues. This is just incredible work we're seeing right now from St. Clair, recognizing that they still have to take these fights. They can't get off the cart, but they have to be aggressive. They can't let Siena Heights just walk all over them. And we saw it right there, the fight back with that annihilation. I mean, that was probably the best play they could have made there.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we see these ults building right now, and we have Bob coming out right now, and we see these beats from Social to counteract that, as well as from Red X. We'll see what's going down there. Razor with a pick onto Social as well.
They are finding the picks. Jinxie does have that overclock up. Noxious finding one, Soaks with a second. The push is still going on. St. Clair's has not been stopped yet. Maybe some picks have come through, but they're acting like it's nothing at all. They're going right through this map like they own it. This is certainly exactly what you want to see if you're St. Clair's. We have Razor with another Dragon Blade poached up top. Has to get a little bit of heal before he goes in, I'm sure. We'll see it come out, I'm sure, with this Kitsune rush, diving the back, Axter with a pick on the Jinxie. Two more come through for St. Clair's. There's a third. Fighting into the Kitsune rush from Mancholo. Saving this annihilation from Axter is huge as well, but they won't even need it.
Yeah, just pick after pick after pick from Axter. I mean, we were seeing... I saw those three ults build up, and I looked over to Siena, and I didn't see any real big support ults to counteract that. They did not have that Lucio beat up, and the Kiriko ult just did not seem like it was enough to counteract that. That was a beautiful push from St. Clair's, but as well in that beginning, I really did have hope for Siena Heights keeping that defense. So let's see if they can once again pull it through to the third point.
Yeah, I mean, what an overtime push there. We saw it. They had 1 minute in their time bank. They turned a minute into a 3-point push. That is all you could ever ask for. What an incredible fight. And now, a minute and a minute and 58 seconds, basically 2 minutes on the clock for Siena. I mean, if we saw what a minute could do for St. Clair's, Siena, I would assume, is able to respond, make these swaps if they have to, with the 2 minutes that they're given. That they earned, I should say.
See, and again, we got over onto this Winston on the side of Siena. I really do like seeing them on this a little bit different of a comp than they have been running in the beginning. I think this is really what they need to disrupt the backline of St. Clair's. And as well, I'm interested to see how this Ana is going to work on this side.
I mean, it did work, I believe, last time. It might have been a little bit of the surprise factor. Arizona also playing really well on that Winston. I mean, we see him pushing up top. Will it find a pick? Unfortunately, Axer for the side of St. Clair's, finding Social, Noxious finding Dior. And with the picks coming through for St. Clair's, that will send Siena back to spawn for a regroup. Are regrouped now, pushing back out of spawn. They didn't make any swaps just yet. Still rocking with this comp. You see Red X going high with that Lucio. Arizona in the hotel, trying to find his footing. Now diving that back line. Obnoxious, finding yet another pick. Through everything that Siena is throwing at them, the DPS are still finding these picks. I mean, this is just incredible work. Ooh! But there's a late Widow swap. Claiming a victim, Noxious falls to Dior. And now being up a pick, Siena's going to look to get on this point. Moncholo even finding Razor hidden in the back. 2 clean, crisp headshots will seal the deal for the Genji.
You see a bunch
now
of
they're really up in this fight.
You see a bunch of these ults building right now. I'm waiting to see this Bob come out from the Ashe, see if we're going to get this contest, or if they're just going to get them the point, and it looks like they are going to give them this first cap here.
They do have it now in a similar situation. Overtime, as soon as that point gets capped, not going to be able to leave this point as well. This cart cannot be left unattended. We do have Axer with that, I'm trying to blank down. The Annihilation will be a great contest ult for the side of St. Clair's. Wow, we saw the Primal Rage get shredded on the side of Arizona. Picks coming through for St. Clair's. The ults are popped. The point is cleared. And that is Kings Row going St. Clair's way.
Very, very, very close game from both sides. We saw great team pushes on all sides of the teams, but St. Clair's just was able to really use the ult advantage and able to take that match.
They certainly were. I mean, we were just sawing the plays. The picks were coming through. The plays were happening. It just seemed like St. Clair's was just one step ahead of Siena Heights. I mean, even when they were up in fights sometimes, it just always wasn't going to happen. We do have a quick restart for the lobby. We are going to take just a quick pause, and then we will be right back in just a minute.
Welcome to Esperanza. Initiating match.
And welcome back. We are in on our third map here. We had a swap. I am now with Althea. Welcome in, Althea.
Good to be here. Sorry, there's a cat stuck in the tree, but we're all set. Excited to see these teams. I caught just the end of the last game, and already, I mean, seeing St. Clair's go all the way to 6 in a hybrid map certainly is something we have not seen before. So it's real nice to get some nice and exciting gameplay in this grand finals, and I'm hoping to see more. I know push can really come down to the wire in most cases.
It absolutely can, and I mean, I was saying that I was watching a little bit of Siena Heights elsewhere, and I saw that they were running a nice Doomfist comp on this map, on this mode. Doomfist Pharah and the Sojourn. We're seeing the Hazard and Tracer right now. Still a pretty good comp, especially with that Hazard. We have not seen Arizona play that just yet, but looking to make its debut here.
Yeah, we've seen the Hazard just a little bit at the start of this season, and it seemed to fall out a little bit. And we do see teams pick it up quite often. Axer on this Ramatra I actually really like. I think it really opens the team up to play together much more. However, especially with that Sojourn. However, with Siena's side, you have the Tracer to play dive with the Hazard, so it definitely worked out. We've seen aggressive frontline, and Social getting one with this Lucio 1v1.
We have seen the Lucio one all night. There's a back and forth battle between the Lucios, trying to make a statement. We see Arizona falling. The picks are coming through from Siena Heights regardless. We'll see if they're able to keep this momentum going forward. Social with another pick onto Red X. Really starting to cement that Lucio diff here. I should say, well, I mean, we'll have to wait. It's been back and forth all night.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a rivalry in the game. And see here, Razor swapping over to this Genji, probably just trying to play more into this Brawl-esque type comp, and that's really what they need to do into this Hazard. And I think just looking for some nice reflex and everything as well from the Sojourn. Gonna have quite a few ults up now, and I think this might be an ult fest as Soaks has this Kitsune rush way ahead of a lot of other members.
Absolutely right, and we do see it committed early from Soaks, maybe realizing that they charged it up pretty quick, able to have it for that fight, but no picks came through. It looks like Siena just gave them space, let that ult run out, and now Moncholo and Social have theirs up, where Red X is going to be able to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say because of that Lucio 1v1, we saw Red X almost down 30% when it came to the ultimate, and I think that allows Sierra, they need to recognize that lead they have and act fast. We see that now with Moncholo's Kitsune rush coming out. They're going to get aggressive, not commit anything too much now, but still looking to win the fight.
Nothing too crazy yet. We see the downpour coming out from Arizona, as well as the beat drop from Social and Red X committed. And there's a pick yet again. We do have the overclock coming in from Noxious. Jinxie finds a pick with hers. There's a second. Gets picked up by the Annihilation. And these fights going back and forth, back and forth. It's always hard to tell who's winning, but when Axer's on the field, popping those ults, getting those picks, that is how you win a fight.
Yeah, that was a beautiful 5-man from Axer there, starting with that Annihilation and just punching his way through the rest. Very impressive there. We saw Jinxie as well with 2 very nice picks, but onto St. Clair's DPS, but Siena just falling behind there because of that ult, and that's going to give St. Clair likely the space they need. I don't know if they'll take the lead yet. They're going to get close.
Yeah, we do have that barrier getting ever closer. Razor popped that Dragon Blade, finds one, finds two, gets shut down by Moncholo. Is the damage done, however? You see Axer trying to face tank that. Actually picks up Fiora as well. Because now the picks will come through. They will take the lead. And this bot is still pushing.
Yeah, we see quite a few swaps from Siena here. Torbjorn we have seen play fairly well, actually. Usually you see it and think throw pick, but Torbjorn's been really strong this season, as well as the Orisa. I know is just an anchor when it comes to that tank film 1v1. That fortify preventing any kind of CC. Not that Acture has much, but being able to punch like the control Orisa is able to have over the battlefield is crazy. We see that immediately there as Red X gets pinned to the wall with a javelin.
Now we do have Stokes popping that Kitsune rush first. I think Manchola was just a little out of position to get theirs down as a response. And thus we'll see St. Clair's continuing this lead, pushing even further. Now about to be over 100 meters. This is starting to look a little scary for the side of Siena.
Yeah, I mean, this is best of 7, so they're not out of it yet. However, you're about halfway through and the enemy team has double your distance. You got to think what's going on. Siena made some swaps, not able to find the right response. Seeing Arizona go over to this Ramatra now, just looking for a mirror. And I don't know, I think that might be a pretty good decision. However, we see Noxious with another great pick on a Dior, and I think St. Clair's DPS are just doing so much work in the back line, causing this disruption.
They certainly are, and we actually just saw both support ults committed from the side of Siena, hoping to really take this fight. Oh, the pulse bomb from Noxious will stick, and before the Suzu comes through, the pick will go down. Seeing St. Clair's just looking unstoppable right now. Can't be stopped.
Yeah, Siena feels, I want to say divided, but that is just their comp. They do spread out, they do get picks, but it feels like St. Clair, because they have the objective on their side, they're just a little more grouped. However, I think due to that, whoever is the closer respawn, St. Clair is just going to give up a little bit of space here. Let Siena regroup, I guess, let themselves regroup for the most part and make sure they stop this payload before that middle point is to keep forward spawn. And already we see Razor, 2 beautiful picks with this blade.
Who make it 3 before getting shut down by a nice punch from Arizona. But the picks did come through already, and St. Clair's is up in the fight. They are getting the bot pushing again, but their whole team is not there. They will have to be careful, because Siena spawns a lot closer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like what we saw before, where they're just going to push the bot up and then back up and hold their space, let the team regroup. Though looking at the comps, I mean, you can see this whole team is pretty fast. That Lucio Kiriko, as well as just a Tracer and that Genji, they're going to come back real quick, as well as Torbjorn for Siena. So these are very fast respawns for both teams. Kitsune Rush comes out.
We are. Jinxie laying down the welcome mat for that Kitsune Rush, saying, come on, St. Clair, use that ult, get aggressive here. We do see both annihilations coming down from either Ramatra on the point, just looking to box it out. Arizona's did run out, now Actors. No picks came through just yet. Still boxing on point, and that will be Actor finding Arizona. What a way to open up this fight, being down a tank. Pretty crucial.
Yeah, we saw a beautiful shield there from Arizona, or from Acture, putting that behind Arizona, disconnecting the heals from Mancholo, and that let him get that easy pick. Razor now finding one. Acture picking up another under Mancholo. And that's going to be the Kitsune rush out. Dior has this pulse bomb, and they're all relying on that. Noxious is going to find a triple. But Siena is not going to be able to get the touch. Yeah, I mean, that was...
saw that aggression, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it felt like St. Clair just were always on top of it, knew how to play around their own team comp, for sure. I like what we saw multiple times where even when they were in the lead and they could be pushing the bot, they back up, they regroup, make sure they have the right positioning and they're in the right space, and then they push and execute. And it felt like in each of those fights, we just saw the DPS doing a little bit of little better in the back lines. And I think it just came down to possibly the support. I mean, I know we saw those Lucio 1v1s. They're definitely capable of fighting, but we may have just seen a little bit more support pressure from SCC, which is why it made it harder for SHU's defense.
I completely agree, and I mean, we saw a lot of swaps throughout this whole set, throughout all three of these games. A lot of swaps from the side of Siena Heights. Just not too many from the side of St. Clair's. They've really locked into this pick. I mean, Axure has been an absolute machine on this Ramatra pick. I don't think SHU has really been able to respond to it accordingly. They're making all the swaps, but I don't know if it's the right ones. I mean, they're going to have to find a way to crack this Axure on Ramatra. It's just looking too good right now.
Has Axure been consistently on this Ramatra all night?
I believe so. I don't know if we've seen a swap off, or it might have been just for a round or two, but I believe all night it's been the Ramatra.
Yeah, that's very surprising. I mean, typically you will at least see one or two swaps to match, but I guess when you're winning, you know the comp that you run, you know how it works, and then from there you know how to play with it. And that just forces the other team to make the swaps and play around it. And it seems like really the only major counter to Ramatra is another Ramatra. Just on the tank end, you can definitely make some team-wide swaps to make a difference. But from there, so long as you're good at that Ramatra and you're winning that one, then I think that's going to leave your team in a good standing, and we can definitely see that from Axure's gameplay.
We certainly can, and we're going to see the hover here right back on that Ramatra. Certainly a staple pick.
Nothing breaks like half an
Yeah, I'm curious a little bit about social on this Moira.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of bait. We've seen some
so.
swaps too.
Okay.
I would be surprised if we see the Moira come out here. We do see the Symmetra from both teams, but I believe that's just for a TP. We'll probably see both of them swap to a Genji afterwards. As we see Genji for Razor, but Tracer for Dior.
I got a little bit of excited there with Arizona hovering that Reinhardt and then swap Mirisa, but gonna opt for this Ramatra 1v1. Definitely, I think that is the right play. And we're seeing pretty similar comps as last time. Razor with a really early pick onto Dior here, opening up the fight.
Yeah, finding those early picks has just been such a consistency with St. Clair's. Whether it's Noxious, Razor, Red X, or Stokes, or Axure, I mean, the whole team has just been fragging off all night. We're seeing these picks come through pretty consistently. They do have the point. As Progress is going up. As yet again, they're just looking for this opening pick.
Yeah, I mean, 35, the point ticks fast in this mode. And we finally see Siena feel like they're somewhat breaching this point, getting up here. But St. Clair's DPS, once they're pushed in, they're going to see the DPS are going to have ample room to swoop in behind them and cause some disrupts. To see these Ramatras dueling on point now, the Sojourn just charging off of them, and it feels like we can't see Siena get their foot in the door.
Not yet, and 80% now. St. Clair's up huge, and with finding those picks, it's looking even better. Point was starting to be capped by Siena, but a few picks later, and that will be St. Clair's taking the first flashpoint.
Yeah, first one cap, 2 more to go. Siena, I mean, 1 more loss, and you're looking at them looking at a full reverse sweep. You got 1 more game. You can, or I believe this is match point for them. So they really need to lock in on this, figure out what's going on, make the swaps. We see Dior making that swap to the Genji, maybe trying to think that Tracer, these supports have pretty good survivability. You're not going to get those early executes as Tracer. And compared to what you can get as Genji. Very
Nice
beat
beat drop. Both beat drops actually committed, and the Kitsune rushes. Looking's empowered to their max. Fighting it out, duking. We're seeing the overclock. Noxious with a charge shot to Dior. And that will be St. Clair's yet again starting capping this point.
Yeah, again, once we see both Annihilations come out now, and we're seeing a few picks on the side of Siena. That's 2. Support's looking low on either side now. And we will see Arizona find Axure. But I think the Lucio versus Tank now. We're gonna see if Siena gets this cap. Oh, beautiful Vortex, but I don't think it'll catch Redex. We will see
let it go down.
We'll see the point swap, but the question is how long they'll be able to hold it now. Finally on the defensive end for Siena. Maybe they'll play just a little bit better being pushed into.
Let's see Razor popping that Dragon Blade. Definitely not an unfamiliar location. Finding 2 with it. Great play coming out of the DPS. And now will be St. Clair with the take back. Near immediately. I mean, that was a quick regroup and quick push right back to point.
Yeah, it felt like we saw a lot of Siena Heights' DPS and supports in general as well, just on the outside of point, leaving Arizona alone on that, and just kind of destined to die. Obviously, when the rest of the team's eating a Dragon Blade, the best thing you can do at least is fight in one spot so you can all be pressuring him. But 90% now, Siena looking for this contest, making the swap over to the Hazard, maybe just trying to play up with that team, get aggressive. He comes out as well as the overclock.
Yeah, Jinxie with that overclock, looking for Red X, will find it. But not before 2 picks, 3 picks for St. Clair's now, finding the whole team. Jinxie will get 1 on the way out, but it won't be enough. Second flashpoint goes St. Clair's way.
Yeah, now both map and point-wise here, it is match point for St. Clair. Siena really looking for any answers as we see a Moira, a Sombra, and a Wrecking Ball swap. I want to say we've seen worse. I won't say worse. We've seen crazier. I am interested to see how the Wrecking Ball will work. I mean, Axure's got that Vortex, a pretty big counter. Razor definitely has the chase, but I think if they coordinate well enough, this might work out well. However, a hack into 4 members likely won't.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Jinxie getting caught out there. It seems like they are grasping for straws here. I mean, this is not a comp we've seen before. Not sure if Siena practices this comp very often, but it is a comp they're willing to try here right now. Match, game point. Unfortunately, St. Clair is so locked in. Noxious with his overclock, finding these picks like it's nothing. There's another one onto Jinxie, and it's just looking too good for St. Clair.
Yeah, that was a beautiful team kill on the back. Noxious with that overclock as well, and Siena just feels like they're so divided. Like I feel like they look almost like look like they're feeding, like they're very straggled, or staggered is the right word. Very staggered, but by themselves it almost feels like it. I think just because of their position and the way they're playing. See Dior blading and spawn. Siena's not going to really bother for the touch now, and that's going to be St. Clair winning the map as well as the finals here, 4-0.
Absolutely, that will be, I believe, St. Clair's now winning this season. They are #1, the team to beat. But that's the thing, they didn't. They did this set in 4-0 fashion, showing exactly why they are the top of the top in the Titans division. I mean, what more could you want than a 4-0 in the grand finals nonetheless?
Yeah, I think Siena had a lot of potential. I think it really just came down to St. Clair's DPS were just so much more aggressive finding those picks. And that's not to put it out Siena's DPS. It's just saying that St. Clair, as well as their supports, were just so good at their jobs. They weren't giving up any pressure anywhere. So good job on them. Congratulations as well.
Absolutely, and I believe that will be it for us tonight. I believe that might be it for the season. I'm not sure if we will have any more Overwatch games next week or the following. Be sure to check it out anyway. The ECAC streams throughout the rest of the week, all starting at, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as the Marvel Rivals tournament on the weekend starting at 6. I have been your host, Inferno, joined by my fellow casters, Althea and Beldia, as well as the Observer Beldia. Any final words for the night, Althea?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a fantastic season. I'm interested to see if there are any other games. I know last year, or last semester at least, we saw a few different extra games after the finals. So I'm excited to see what we get. If we get them, I should say. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Congratulations to all the teams in the league. Good job to St. Clair for taking it home, and I wish you all luck. Thank you guys for watching.